Volquest post-game mini podcast. Tennessee a 45-26 winner over Syracuse here inside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Eric Kane alongside Austin Price and Matt Ray. Guys, I think the outcome is exactly what was expected, right? I mean, Tennessee won by 19 points. Tennessee blew them out. Tennessee covered the spread. Tennessee jumped up to a 17-0 lead, Matt, early in the first quarter, and really had great control of this game, always had control of this game. It got a little sloppy defensively, especially in the second half, but overall, an expected outcome here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it got sloppy in the second half a little bit, and I think that's to be expected in week one. I think Syracuse had a few wrinkles. Before we started this here, Austin was just talking about, I think Syracuse had the perfect play call to open up the game, and I thought they had a good game plan, just Tennessee was able to overwhelm them, but when you're rotating guys in like Tennessee was, you're going to have some of those things happen. They'll tune those up. But I thought defensively, cornerbacks played really, really well. I thought Arion Carter played with his hair on fire. Edwin Spillman, a nice day. Josh Josephs, Nathan Robinson, a nice day. And then offensively, I just thought Tennessee's offensive line had a really good day.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nice opening win. You expect it to be a little rusty. I mean, go back to every opener, right? Like the Virginia game, there was rust. You go back to even to the last time Tennessee was in this building, which was 2017. Look how bad they played early in that game against Georgia Tech. Of course, it has a different style of play, but still, it's first game of the year. And let's face it, we can talk about preseason scrimmages, and they can do a lot of 11-on-11 work and practice and stuff. But at the end of the day, they still don't hit and tackle and all that stuff like they did 20 years ago when there was two-a-days and all that stuff. So there's always that early season rust. Nice opening, salvo from this team. They did what it took to win. Offensively, showed some creativity, ran the football well. Joey didn't put the ball in harm's way. All the talk about his interceptions. Anytime there was even a person in the area, it was a jump ball 30 or 40 yards down the field where he's just letting his receiver try to go make a play. He didn't, when he was throwing a lot of those outs, he didn't put the ball in harm's way, across the middle of the field or any of that stuff. So, good start defensively. They've got to clean up some things, and they've got to get healthy defensively.
Yeah, they've got to get healthy for sure. We can talk about that here in a moment, but let's stick with those positives. I mean, Joey Aguilar, as you pointed out, didn't put the football in harm's way. I mean, he was high on some throws, but overall, I thought it was a really, really solid day for him. I think Josh Hopp was very pleased with his effort. Just look at the stats here. I mean, 16-28, 247 yards. 3 touchdowns for Joey Aguilar. And I thought running the football was really effective too, Matt. All 3 running backs scored a touchdown either on the ground or through the air like Star Thomas did. I mean, Tennessee bulldozed its way to 246 rushing yards, where it felt like Syracuse ran a lot more, but Syracuse only finished with 103 team rushing yards. Overall, I think Tennessee's offense, behind that offensive line, that I think deserves a lot of credit. This was not the plan offensive line-wise, right? David Sanders, a scratch. You had to bump Jesse Perry out. I think the overall, the whole offense deserves some praise.
But you said it in the 2-minute drill. You saw what the option B was today. Like, I don't think it could have went any better when you factor in they didn't have Jermon McCoy. Ricky Gibson didn't play,
the entire
two and a half quarters. 2.5 quarters he didn't play.
Yeah.
Obviously Jermon McCoy, as I said, David Sanders out. You had to shift your whole offensive line around. It was, to me, like the perfect storm to kind of like you throw something at a team to see how they react, except for this actually counted, right? Like this wasn't fall camp where you're throwing some kind of weird scenario at them. This actually was a real scenario, and they did a nice job with it.
Well, I thought for me, with the offensive line, obviously, big question mark coming into this year. You don't have Cooper Mays trotting back out there. You don't have Javonte Spraggins trotting back out there. How do some of these guys develop? And then you get a little bit more thrown into the contingency piece of what you guys are talking about. I thought Sham Umarov played really well today. I thought Jesse Perry kicking out the tackle played really, really well. I think that's really encouraging going into this 2025 campaign as you continue to get back to strength and continue working through things. If you're Tennessee, you've got a lot of options.
Yeah, you ran the ball effectively with your offensive line. You gave up no sacks. Did Joey even take a real hit?
He did when he was running the football.
He did when he
well, they don't count that. That's down the field. But I mean, like behind the line of scrimmage. I don't think he took a real hit behind the line of scrimmage.
No,
they didn't get home. He's athletic enough when they even got a little, they flushed him a little bit. He was able to, make plays with his legs.
Yeah.
And again, he's thicker. He's effective, and again, to me, just kind of crafty is the best way to describe him. The play on the fire drill,
that was good.
that was a crafty play, and he had a couple of those.
Yeah, off platform, rolling to his left, flipping his hips, finding Star Thomas. It looked good.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of his touchdowns really. I mean, he's fading away. I mean, it was a fadeaway jumper to Miles Kitselman.
Yeah.
And then like you said, off platform to Star Thomas. I thought that was a really nice catch for a running back there. But I mean, ultimately, I think that's a piece that it just feels like in a Josh Heupel offense that takes it to a different level. You got to have some of that ability to improvise. We saw it with Hendon Hooker. When you have those things and you can play confidently off schedule, it's an offense that when it's clicking and has tempo, it's really tough. It's a really tough out for defenses, and we saw that today. For Syracuse, they just had a hard time getting Tennessee off the field.
Let's flip it over to defense. It's funny, man. This is, again, what stats don't tell the whole story. Tennessee had 5 sacks. Tennessee had 9 TFLs. Tennessee forced 2 turnovers, both that led to scores. One was a scoop and score. The other one, led to a touchdown. But Syracuse scored 4 touchdowns. They went for 2 twice, didn't get it. So that's why they got the 26 points. But 3 of those touchdowns, Austin, came on a 4th down conversion at some point in that drive to just keep them on the field.
And 2 of those 3 were long. 4th and 10, 4th and 8.
Yeah, I mean.
And at one play, Boo had him dead to rights, and somehow it didn't get him down, and kind of tossed it to the jumbo tight end, and he was a jumbo.
I think that was the disappointing part of today. Is like they just couldn't get off the field in certain some of those spots that led 2 points for Syracuse. I thought the Willis kid ran really good. He had 91 yards. Every time I looked up, I felt like he was scoring a touchdown. But overall, again, you look at Syracuse, and they only tallied 103 rushing yards on the day. And the sacks are counted into that as well.
I like that Willis kid as well. He ran the ball physically. He bounced it. His timing was really good, I thought. One of those Syracuse touchdown drives, though, I looked up, I was like, man, they're marching right down the field right here, pretty quick later in the game. And then you look, and Tennessee had 2 walk-ons in it at inside linebacker. So, again, you've got to fine-tune some things on the defense, but I still think this defense is one that Tennessee can continue to lean on. You're starting to see more and more depth for them. They're deep, and I think they're going to be a tough out as they continue to progress. A big thing's just continuing to get guys back healthy.
Did you guys see? I mean, this is a question I guess I should probably ask you guys before we started, but did you guys see Jaden Perlotti play at all? Saw Jaden Harmon.
Jaden Perlotti did not play.
Okay.
I did not see Rodarius Jackson play.
Rodarius Jackson was only on kickoff.
DeJuan Morris played a little bit in that one drive, had a couple carries for
Travis
like 3
Smith
yards.
got a couple snaps.
If the ball's not high to Travis Smith and he makes the guy miss, he may still be running towards making.
Yeah. What can you do about those? I mean, the injuries, right? I mean, all we can do is ask. But I mean, this week coming up is kind of a breather. You don't want to ever say that, on the record, right? But no, it's ETSU. It is what it is.
When in doubt, this coming week, like a Ricky Gibson, let's say Ricky's going to be okay, and we don't know what that injury is at this point. He's not playing, right?
Yeah.
Like same thing with like anybody that's iffy, that's a veteran. Like there's no point at all.
Mm-hmm. You got to a point to where you and I were talking. Thought they might move Jalen McMurray back to corner, but maybe because he hadn't practiced it hardly at all in camp, they just didn't want to do it today.
They played William Wright out there.
They put William Wright out there. I mean,
if he's good enough to play the 22 Alabama game, he was good enough to play the Syracuse today. I mean,
I
know that joke, but I mean, it's kind of true. I mean,
yeah, that's true. But I mean, I can't even keep track of all the injuries, guys. I mean, Ty Redmond missed a little bit of the fourth quarter. Mentioned Ricky Gibson, Nathan Robinson, Jamal Wallace. Arian Carter went back, but he's fine. Elwin Spillman got banged up. That's just defense.
If you had the over on injury timeouts today, you cashed it. You cashed that bet. I mean, it was a physical football game, and I think if you ask anybody at Tennessee, kind of regardless of what this Syracuse team had or had to try to replace, I think that they knew a Fran Brown coach football team was going to be physical, and it was a physical football game for 4 quarters. So.
Did this game exceed any expectations? We'll go offense, because defensively it certainly did not exceed any of my expectations. Had people tweeting me saying, "Oh, you said the defense is going to lead the way." Well, I still think the defense is going to be okay. Let's calm down. Offensively, it definitely did, and I recognize Syracuse didn't have any returners off a horrible defensive season to go, but I was still very impressed with how Tennessee was able to throw the football.
If Syracuse struggles to move it the rest of the way, then I'll be shocked. I think they moved it a year ago, with Kyle McCord. A new quarterback this year, they still dialed up good plays, and he delivered the ball. And
he played well.
My biggest surprise or positive takeaway from this is just the fact that Tennessee showed some different wrinkles on offense, showed some creativity. I liked how you brought up in the two-man drill. What they do, they got the ball. Yeah, they showed a little bit of pistol, but not as much as I thought they would. But they threw it to the backside of the backfield. That early throw on that little
screen
curl out there by Deshaun Bishop was a great play call, right? And that's something they really have not done. And you wonder, like, what's Seth Luttrell's kind of imprint on this, right? Like coming in, adding just a couple of wrinkles, bringing a couple of different things to help out the offense. You have to be pleasantly surprised with some of the creativity today.
Yeah, and you talk about Seth Luttrell. I mean, that's another guy that's been a head coach that gives you another viewpoint from an offensive mind. And I think that's a really good question also. But overall, I thought the wrinkles for Tennessee. I mean, we saw them motion into pistol. On one occasion, I thought they. The backside of the backfield, I love that. The little route to Deshaun Bishop. I mean, that just Tennessee's ran things like that in the past, and it just hasn't worked. But I thought you saw a little bit more of Tennessee getting back to, again, wrinkles, but a little bit more to their identity. Saw some deep shots. Saw some guys running free.
How'd you guys think the tempo was today?
I thought it clicked really well at times, and I thought they slowed it down a little bit at times too. But I thought they were. I thought from that standpoint, I thought probably midway through the second quarter, I thought, man, Joey Aguilar is really in control of this tempo, considering the fact that he's been on campus since the start of summer.
Yeah. Can we talk about Braylon Staley's 73-yard bomb, and a great throw by Aguilar? There was play action out of 12 personnel, and I guess the safeties just bit on it so much because that poor corner had no inside help. And credit Braylon Staley, he just ran right by him. Okay, he went to the inside where the safety's supposed to be. That safety was nowhere to be found. And that was just a beautiful ball.
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball. And I think that for Tennessee, you go back to, I think for Josh Heupel's offense, you go back to UCF, you go back to wherever, and you could say this, I guess, for any team in college football. But Tennessee's offense under Josh Heupel has been more effective when they have a guy out of the slot that can open up the middle of the field, that can keep those high safeties honest with plays like that, because it doesn't allow them to walk down into the run game. It doesn't allow them to kind of try to take that away. And then if they do try to creep down, you hit a little play action like you said out of 12 personnel, and suddenly Braylon Staley's on top of you. You're not going to win that foot race. The receivers had some drops today. At the end of the day, you have to clean those up. But I still thought that there were some flashes there from those guys. And I mean, let's be honest, Jeremiah Smith had 2 drops today before halftime. Like Austin said, this is
it's early season.
Yeah,
it's
early season. It's
especially
just,
when most of that receiving corps didn't even see the field until a week ago. They had not practiced. The trio that started the football game that were going to start the season had not practiced together at all in fall camp until about 1 week ago.
I think today was good against a Power 4 opponent. Syracuse that obviously last year had a lot of success. Who knows what's in store for Syracuse this year? But Tennessee at points in times. I said at halftime, like on the board, you had a bad fumble and you had some drops and everything. But Tennessee absolutely bullied Syracuse in the first half. Just straight up bullied them. I thought points in time Tennessee was very dominant in this football game. So you come up home opener this week, ETSU. As AP said, I mean, if there's any hint of an injury, you hold them out, you rest them up, get a lot of these young guys a whole lot of reps. Defensively, Tennessee got ahead of that in this one because a lot of young guys played a ton of snaps here today.
Yeah, I mean, at one point in the second half, you had a lineup of Caleb Herring, who, again, is 30 year on campus, but he hadn't played a lot of football to this point, like meaningful defensive snaps. You had Marion Dye, Ethan Utley,
and Jamal Wallace, I believe.
And Jamal Wallace, that's correct.
Yep.
That was the 4 in the game. And then at linebacker, you had Jaden Harmon and Ben Bolton. That was your front. That was your front 6.
Yep.
I was like, whoa. I mean, that's a lot of trust. When at the time it was what? Was it? Maybe it was 12.
I think it was 12.
I think it was 38 to 26 at that point.
Yep.
Brandon Naines got a couple of snaps at linebacker. I thought at points in times they emptied the bench on defense, and you just had so many guys that were out at points in time. So they got to get healthy. We'll continue to keep tabs on that this weekend. Josh Heupel, he'll meet with the media on Monday. It's a full game week. Prep on Monday, even though it's Labor Day with the holiday. But Tennessee does what it needed to do. It came in, got a win at a neutral site game, dominated at points and times. End of the day, even though it's kind of like feeling leaving here because the defense gave up a little bit more than you thought, Tennessee covered the spread. Tennessee won by 19, and Tennessee's off 1-0 to a 1-0 start to the 2025 season. Plenty more coverage coming up at Volquest.com throughout the day, the night. We'll have plenty of reaction tomorrow as well. Rocky Top Rewinds coming back to the YouTube channel tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. We got a lot of stuff to get into, and looking forward to that.
9 o'clock, not 8 o'clock.
Yes.
That's normally 8 o'clock the last few years, but 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We pushed it back an hour. We said, stay up with us a little bit longer.
Yeah, stay up with us. Come hang out with us. For Matt Ray, Austin Price, I am Eric Kane. Tennessee, a 45-26 winner here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.